Hello and welcome back to the channel. As you can see today it is a very rainy Friday. I've come back down to my local park. If you follow me on Instagram, then you might have seen that I met up with Dave Griffiths last week and we found a beautiful location that I'm going to return to probably springtime, maybe. It needs those perfect conditions. But while we were there I was having a chat with him and I said that this park I could probably shoot at for quite a while, explore different areas. As I've said on this vlog before on the channel, I've barely scratched the surface. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to restrain myself to only shooting in this park for the foreseeable future. Some interesting news is that we're hosting a meetup in February. 9th of February, I think it's a Sunday, and we're going to head to the peaks. UTOGS was set up because we wanted to encourage more meetups, and it's maybe lost its way a little bit in the past few months. So I'm hoping that this meetup will get a good group of people together and we'll really enjoy a day of photography. So obviously I'll be shooting outside of this park then in February, but for the foreseeable, or at least up until then, I'm only going to be shooting in this park. As I was saying, absolutely chucking it down today, and that means that the brook to the left of me there, you can see, is very high. It's probably a foot or so off coming over onto the path. It's higher than I've ever seen. There's been a lot of rain, but that might lend itself to some interesting photography. I don't want to get too wet. I'm soaked already by walking here. And this is just kind of like the next step since I've decided that I want to come and I want to only vlog and take pictures in the park for a little bit. This is kind of like the first step. I didn't want to miss this torrential weather because I want to try and capture the park in all weathers. I've done the autumn in the last but one vlog. I've done cold and frost on the last vlog. So now I want to do horrible weather. But there's still some beautiful colour here. I've got an idea for my first shot, so let's go and try and find where I need to be. So weather like this I do not particularly enjoy for photography, but I've managed to capture a couple of images. One that I'm probably fairly happy with once I've put it through post-processing, not that I do that much of it. It's like quite an intimate image of a piece of wood in the water. And then another shot which there's surprisingly a lot of people out today walking dogs and stuff like that, but I really like umbrellas. There's something about umbrellas. So I think that's the only way that I do street photography on a bad day would be umbrellas. I really like the idea of a shot from above, from high up, with loads of umbrellas walking around like a square or something. But anyway, there was someone walking past with an umbrella and I've managed to get a little bit of a waterfall in sort of the mid frame, a little bit of foreground, and then this umbrella in the background. So it's not, as I say, it's not amazing photography. The only thing that I'm struggling with is I've only got a lens hood for my long lens. So there was a shot which I might, if it calms down a little bit, I might get my wider angle lens out and try and capture that shot because it could be quite good. Those bits of wood in the water that I was talking about that I've captured intimately, they lead up to the waterfall. So if I can get low, even though it's very slippy by the side of the brook, which is now probably a river, I wouldn't say it's a brook anymore, it's probably a river at this height, I think that would be a nice shot with it leading up to the waterfall. So I'm just going to play around. I'm a little bit more sheltered here, so I might actually swap my gear out, get that wide angle lens on and see if I can capture something. The thing is, with the long lens, there's not enough space to be able to drop back further and then zoom in, or even at 70mm, which is the minimum distance, there's not enough space where I can stand, sort of thing, to get the shot that I want. So I will have to go wider. I might be all right with 50mm, but I think I might have to get my wide angle lens on, so I might do that now and then carry on searching for some subjects and compositions, but there's not much light. There's a bit of light coming through the sky over there, but it's very dark and dismal within this woodland today. But hopefully I can show it off in that light, or lack of light, and maybe capture some good pictures. So I'll pop them first ones up that I've captured for you now. Okay, that's much better with my wide angle lens on. Let me talk you through the shot. If you can see down there, I was perched just down on here, and there's these little bits of wood leading up to the waterfall. I've also managed to, there's a tree that's fallen down here across there, and I've done one portrait, so more like that, and then I've gone really wide and got everything in and got this little bit of greenery in the foreground as well. So I'm hopeful that playing around with those settings, and I managed to capture a little bit of movement. There's a little bit of foam coming down towards the camera, so that's also something else which leads you up into the waterfall. I'm hopeful that once I get back, I might have to pull down. I had to go quite overexpose the shot to get the movement in the water, but I'm hopeful that I can pull that back when I'm back on my computer as well. So I'm quite happy with this. Something a bit weird just happened though. I was just taking that shot, and I think someone's put some wind chimes in the forest somewhere, in the woodland somewhere, because some music just started playing. I thought it was someone's phone to start with, but I think someone's taken it upon themselves to make a bit of music, which is quite nice to hear. I could just heard it again. It's quite cool. So yeah, I don't know. I think I'm going to carry on down this way. The rain is sort of stopping a little bit. There is another section of water. It's got a bit more of a bend in the river, which might be quite nice now I've got the wide lens on. It's worked out quite well. I managed to use the long lens with the rain cover on whilst it was chucking it down, and now it's kind of slowed off a little bit, so it's not too bad. It's still bitterly cold. And that cafe, that woodland park cafe at the end of the woodland, is calling me for a brew at the end. That's the other benefit of restraining myself to the park for this amount of time, because I can always take advantage of the awesome cafe. You might find it a bit weird that I am going to restrain myself, because it means I won't be going to the lakes or the peaks until we go to the peaks and stuff like that. But I think it's going to be a good exercise, and I think that restraining yourself sometimes is definitely a good thing. Right, there's another waterfall here. Let's see if I can do something with this. And then I think the bit of curvy river is just up ahead of me. Okay, I'll put that other picture up now for you, or those two pictures, one landscape, one portrait. See which one you like best. Right, I think I'm done for the morning. I've walked the path that I wanted to. I think I'm sort of using this next few visits as it's a bit of a scouting mission to see what perks my interest and what I can find, really. I've got some lovely shots. There's still this gorgeous burnt orange hanging on behind me as well there, and I've got some lovely sort of more intimate shots, but then I've used the bridges and the river. This bend is lovely, but I can't figure out what to do with it. I've used the bends of the river and the bridges to get more landscapey type shots within the woodland. I'll pop them up now at the end, and then I'm going to go and get that cup of tea. So it's been a bit of a short one this week, but yeah, as I say, that's what's going on. Get on the UTOG's Facebook group. I'll put the event below for the Peak District in February, and yeah, you're going to see a lot more of this park if you are tuning in to my channel regularly. So I hope you're well, stay safe, stay tuned for the pictures, and I'll see you on the next one.